when you don't set the tone. Have you ever noticed how some people test you the moment they meet you? They interrupt you mid-sentence. They make subtle comments disguised as jokes. They push your boundaries just enough to see what you'll tolerate. In most of your life, you were probably taught to ignore it. Be polite. Don't make a big deal out of it. Just let it go. But here's the truth most people learn far too late. When you don't set the tone, someone else will. Respect isn't given automatically. It's not something you demand loudly. And it's not something you beg for. Respect is communicated quietly, calmly, and immediately through how you respond. That is where Stoicism becomes your advantage. Stoics don't explode. They don't over-explain. They don't trade dignity for approval. They master themselves. And because of that, the world takes them seriously. Today, you'll learn 6 powerful Stoic responses that command respect instantly, without raising your voice, without getting emotional, and without losing your center. Let's begin. 1. The silent stare. There are moments when someone tests you not because they're strong, but because they believe you won't push back. Someone interrupts you. Someone mocks you casually. Someone tries to embarrass you to elevate themselves. And for a split second, you feel it. That heat in your chest. That tightening in your jaw. That question in your mind. Did they really just speak to me like that? Most people react immediately. They defend. They explain. They laugh nervously to keep the peace. Not because they're weak, but because they were never taught how to protect their dignity without starting a war. But here's the Stoic truth. You don't earn respect by explaining yourself. You earn respect by controlling the space you stand in. And nothing controls a room faster than the silent stare. A calm, steady, grounded look. No anger, no fear, no ruse. When someone disrespects you, they expect a reaction. Emotion gives them power. But when you meet their eyes and say nothing, their script collapses. 3 seconds is enough. Those 3 seconds say, I'm not rattled. I'm not impressed. I'm not shrinking. Silence becomes authority. Presence becomes power. Most people who disrespect others rely on chaos. They rely on reactions. They rely on you collapsing inward. When you don't, they have nowhere to stand. You didn't argue. You didn't raise your voice. You simply held your ground. And dignity always commands respect. 2. Silence is the answer. Not every disrespect deserves your voice. Some moments demand something stronger. Your silence. Some people provoke not because they want truth, but because they want access to your emotions. Silence denies them that access. Silence is not weakness. Silence is not avoidance. Silence is strategy. Think of the last time someone baited you into an argument. The moment you responded, the tension escalated. That wasn't conversation, it was a trap. Stoics learn to recognize emotional fishing. When you answer disrespect with silence, your message is clear. You don't get my energy. The room feels different when you do this. They expected noise. They expected defense. Instead, they're left alone with their own behavior. People who rely on subtle disrespect hate silence because silence exposes them. Silence protects your peace. And peace is not something you owe anyone. Silence doesn't mean forever. It means intentional pause. People can twist words. They cannot twist silence. And that is why silence earns instant respect. 3. Stop explaining yourself. One of the fastest ways to lose respect is to over-explain. One of the fastest ways to gain it is to stop. How many times have you justified decisions to people who weren't affected by them? Over-explaining trains others to question your authority. Stoicism teaches this truth. You don't owe anyone a presentation about your life. People who respect you don't demand explanations. People who don't will never be satisfied with one. When you explain too much, you teach the world that your no is negotiable. Instead, imagine responding with one calm sentence. This is the right decision for me. No debate, no defense, no emotional unraveling. Short sentences carry weight. Calm conviction commands respect. The moment you stop explaining yourself, you stop bleeding power. 4. Keep your distance. Not everyone deserves access to you. Distance is not punishment. Distance is clarity. Some people behave well only when they're far from your life. Stoicism doesn't teach confrontation. it teaches selection. If someone drains you, belittles you, or undermines you, distance is the response. You don't need a speech. You don't need closure. You respond slower. You share less. You step back quietly. Distance reveals everything. Those who respect you adjust. Those who don't reveal themselves. And either way, you regain peace. 5. Hold your head high. Your posture speaks before you do. When disrespected, most people collapse inward. Shoulders tighten. Eyes drop. But shrinking empowers the other person. Stoicism teaches embodied dignity. Stand. Relax your shoulders. Lift your chin slightly. Not arrogance. Grounded presence. When you hold your head high, you tell the world, I know who I am. Confidence doesn't shout. It stands. 6. The boundary sentence. Some people push limits to see if you'll break. Your job is not to fight them. It's to define the line. A boundary sentence is short, calm, and final. Examples. Speak to me respectfully. That doesn't work for me. I'm stepping away now. No emotion. No explanation. Boundaries prevent conflict. They don't create it. When you deliver one calmly and stop talking, the power shifts immediately. 7. The 7-day Stoic shift. Transformation happens through repetition. Day 1. Observe without reacting. Day 2. Pause before responding. Day 3. Practice the silent stare. Day 4. Use one boundary sentence. Day 5. Create distance. Day 6. Hold strong posture. Day 7. Reflect and reinforce. Respect didn't come from words. It came from who you became. Outro self-mastery is the real power. You've learned 6 Stoic responses that protect dignity and command respect. These aren't tricks. They are habits of self-mastery. Respect doesn't come from fighting harder. It comes from mastering yourself. Practice one lesson today. And remember, stay grounded, stay steady, stay in command.